Hello, Internet. My name is Roro. Welcome to my channel. Today, I wanted to tell you why you shouldn't take my advice or anyone's advice, really. But first, I wanted to say it's really important that if you're stressed in life, for you to take some time to relax, decompress, give yourself some time to do nothing, enjoy yourself. So, what we're going to do is we're going to play some Skater XL. It's one of my favorite video games. And we're going to talk about why you shouldn't listen to people's advice. So, let's get into it. So, first of all, anytime someone gives you advice, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're wrong. A lot of the times, the person could be right, and what they're telling you to do could actually benefit you in your life. But when I say don't listen to anybody's advice, what I mean is don't do something just because someone told you to do it. You can take the information in from that person and many other people, look it up on the internet, talk to, whoever, and then come to your own conclusion based on your own thought process, your own intuitive feelings, and make your own conclusion instead of just taking someone's advice and trying to do that directly. For example, I watch a lot of videos about YouTube on YouTube, like how to make YouTube videos or even streaming. Like when I was more into live streaming on Twitch, I watched a lot of videos about like how to get people to watch your stream, how to promote yourself more, things to do on your stream that can make it more engaging, stuff like that. And I learned so much from watching these videos from these people that, you know, have more insight than I do because they're more successful, they've made more content, yada, yada, yada. But a lot of the information that I ingested had no use to me personally because it wasn't necessarily something that I was doing. For example, like, how to engage with your audience more and like having to be talking the whole time if you're streaming. But I was making music. So it's like, I can't really be talking the whole time while I'm making music because I would literally have to be talking over myself making music. So that's just one example, but there was a lot of other information that I surmised from probably hundreds of different videos from so many different creators. And now I have my own perspective on what I want to do with, my place on the internet, essentially. I mean, I think in general, I'm speaking for myself, but I think people are kind of seeing through the sort of self help guru bullshit that's like online, social media, all that stuff. And I think most people at this point, if somebody on the internet is telling you that this is the way and this is what you have to do, this is what you have to think, this is how you have to feel, most people probably are not going to just blindly believe that, I think. I'm sure some people will, but I think the majority of people at this point in time in the internet understand that those people are just full of shit. And I think what I try to do with my channel is just talk about my life and talk about my experiences and my perspective. And when I say the word you, I'm usually talking of like sort of the proverbial you, and I'm really referring to myself. When I say you in my videos, I'm talking to myself in the future. That's kind of how I see it. And want the I don't ever want someone to change their mind because of something that I said, because I told them to do something so they did it. I'm not trying to change anyone's opinions or change anyone's mind on my channel. I just want to talk about my own experience, and if other people can relate to it and benefit from it and there is information that I provide that's helpful, then that's great. But that's not my goal. If that makes sense. I think the biggest thing I'm trying to get across with this video is just to make your own decisions and think for yourself. It sounds so simple, but I think if anybody really took a stock of their life, the things that they're doing on a daily basis, the people that they're involved with, I think most people would realize that there's some things that they're doing because they feel obligated to, and they don't actually have to be doing them. Like, there's one thing that's a job, a job can be an obligation because you have to pay bills, you have to survive, you have to eat. So, yeah, in that case, like, you can't just be like, nah, fuck this, I'm not going to do that. But I think there's a lot of other situations where, you don't have to be doing certain things that are making you unhappy, but somebody told you that you are supposed to do this in life and you took their advice and now you're doing something that you hate, you know? I'll use an example from my personal life. I think there's a lot of pressure, not as much as there was in the past, but people around my age, I'm in my early 30s, there's a lot of pressure from society still to be a homeowner and to own your own house. Like if you're renting, you're wasting your money. And I like renting because I don't want the burden of property on my name. I want to have somebody else deal with the maintenance of the place that I live. That is easier for me to deal with mentally and financially. And I prefer it because me and my partner, we've lived in many different apartments. Like we don't know exactly where we want to settle down for the rest of our lives yet. Even though we've been together for 10 years. Like we don't know where we want to go. So renting is giving us the option to move if we want to and potentially spend less money if we find a place that's cheaper or something like that. Whereas if I listen to the advice that people gave me, financial advice where you have to invest in a home so you're not wasting your money, throwing it away, just giving it to some landlord, I get that perspective, but that's just not what I want to do with my life. And if I was a homeowner because I felt pressured and I felt obligated, then I would be very unhappy and I would have so much more stress in my life that would be completely unnecessary because it's not even something that I want to be doing. And I'm not saying that owning a home is a bad thing, not at all. It's just a choice. It should be a choice that you make. And if you want to make that choice, you should know what goes into making that choice. And that applies to everything. If you're making a choice, just because you are the one making the choice doesn't mean that you're going to make the right decision either. You have to really think about what you're doing. It takes a lot of time to kind of be decisive and concise in your own mind and figure out exactly how you feel, exactly what you need. And this can go into like a whole mental health talk too, but that's for another video. I just really want to encourage people to stop and think about the decisions that they make in life because I need to hear that advice just as much as anybody else. I need to stop and think about the decisions that I'm making to make sure that I'm really doing what makes me happy. And I think in general, at this point in my life, I kind of do that naturally. I trust my feelings, I trust my gut, and I don't engage in anything consciously that I don't think is going to be good for my life. But, sometimes that's unavoidable and that's understandable. But it's all about finding that balance that you are okay with and whatever is the best for your life personally. So, yeah. Well, I hope you liked the video. If you have any thoughts, please let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. And I put out a new video every Sunday. This is kind of a slightly altered format than what I normally do. I'm experimenting with little things here and there. So let me know what you think of that too. Having me on camera a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you next time.